There's a quiet at 2 a.m., the kind that doesn't feel peaceful. It's heavy, like the dark is pressing against the glass, trying to get in. I needed money for tuition, the help wanted sign at Route 400, for gas and grub, promised double minimum wage for the midnight to 6 a.m. shift. Easy, I thought. Coffee, comic books, ring up a few tired truckers. I was wrong. Things travel the highways late at night, things that look human from a distance, but aren't. I survived my first week by following the rules. But tonight I made a mistake. My shift started at midnight. I arrived at 11:50 p.m. The manager, Mr. Abernathy, was already by the door. "You're late, Evan," he snapped, tossing a heavy ring of keys onto the counter. "It's 10 minutes to midnight, sir," I said. "Exactly. I need to be off this road by midnight." He grabbed his briefcase. No training manual, no instructions, just a laminated, yellowing sheet of paper slapped on the register. "Read this. Memorize it. Don't be a hero," he said, eyes flicking to the dark windows. Then he ran to his car and sped off. I picked up the paper. Night shift protocols. I laughed, thought it was a joke. But the rules were precise. Lock the front doors at 12 a.m. Conduct all business through the bulletproof window. If a woman in a red coat asks for directions to Oakhaven, point to the woods. Do not speak. Oakhaven burned down 50 years ago. If a customer pays with faceless coins, accept them but bury them before sunrise. At 3:15 a.m., go into the walk-in cooler and restock the milk. Don't come out until 3:20 a.m. Ignore everything you hear outside. Midnight, doors locked. Silence, only the hum of fluorescent lights. 1:30 a.m., an 18-wheeler pulled in. A tired, bearded trucker. I slid the metal drawer open. 2 packs of Marlboros. Black coffee, he grunted. Normal money, normal guy. Drive safe. He nodded. Gone, I muttered. Oakhaven, faceless coins. Abernathy's losing it. Headphones in, YouTube videos. Ignore the night. 2:45 a.m. A car pulled up. No engine noise, no gravel crunch. Just there, an old, rusted 1950s sedan. A woman stepped out. Red coat, immaculate, vibrant, pale grey skin, stiff movements. She didn't pump gas, just walked to the bulletproof window. Tap, tap, long yellow fingernail on glass. I slid the drawer. "Can I help you?" She didn't blink. Black eyes, solid. "Excuse me, young man," she whispered. Sound like dry leaves scraping concrete. "Could you tell me how to get to Oakhaven?" Rule 2. My chest froze. Panic. Point to the woods. Don't speak. I clamped my mouth shut, heart hammering. Her head tilted, black eyes boring into my soul. "Well, are you deaf, boy?" I raised my trembling hand, pointed. Woods 3 agonizing seconds. Her mouth stretched wider and wider, past her cheekbones. Rows of needle-like teeth. No sound, just a smile. Then she turned, vanished into the darkness. The car, gone, I realized. The rules were real. After the woman in the red coat vanished, I locked the transaction drawer and backed away from the glass. My hands were shaking. I grabbed the laminated rulebook and read it again. Rule 4, at exactly 3:15 a.m. Go into the walk-in cooler and restock the milk. Do not come out until 3:20 a.m. Ignore whatever you hear outside. I looked up at the digital clock above the cigarette rack. 3:12 a.m. 3 minutes. I grabbed Mr. Abernathy's old winter parka from the break room hook and put it on. The walk-in cooler was freezing, but if the rules kept me alive, I was going to follow them perfectly. I stood by the heavy metal door of the fridge, waiting for the clock to change. Then, headlights washed over the parking lot. A rusted pickup truck screeched in, tires whining across asphalt. It parked wildly, taking up 2 spots. A man slammed the driver's side door, collapsed onto the pavement, then scrambled upright. He ran toward the glass. Dark, wet blood coated him. Torn shirt, crimson hands smeared against the bulletproof glass. "Help," he screamed, his voice muffled by the thick pain. "Please, man, you gotta help me. Open the door." I froze. I looked at the clock. 3:13 a.m. I can't open it, I stammered. "My wife," he sobbed, pointing back to the dark cab of the truck. "She's dying. Call an ambulance. Let us in." I grabbed the landline phone. No dial tone, just a faint scratching, like static on a dead radio. The man's fists pounded the glass. "Please, they're coming back. Don't leave us out here." My mind screamed, "Ignore whatever you hear outside." But this wasn't a ghost in a red coat. This was a man, bleeding to death. If I went into the cooler and let him die, I would be a monster. I dropped the phone, grabbed the keys to the front door. Clock, 3:14 a.m. I sprinted to the double glass doors. "Hold on, I'm unlocking it," I shouted. My hands, slick with sweat, fumbled the heavy keyring. I shoved the master key into the deadbolt. Then, the neon signs outside flickered and died. The pumps went silent. A heavy, suffocating silence fell over the station. The air pressure dropped so fast my ears popped. I slowly turned to the digital clock. 3:15 a.m. I missed it. Not in the cooler. Not safe. I looked through the glass at the man. He wasn't crying anymore. His shoulders stopped heaving. He slowly stood. The bloody handprints on the glass sizzled, blackening. Blood on his shirt didn't drip down. It floated up like smoke. His injuries vanished. His neck snapped sharply to a 90-degree angle, cheek resting on his shoulder. He stared into my eyes. Then he smiled. The same impossibly wide, needle-toothed grin as the woman in the red coat. "You didn't go to the fridge, Evan," the thing said. "Not through the glass. Inside my head. Now we get to come inside." I backed away, keys clattering onto the linoleum. The thing pressed its pale, grey face against the glass. Neck still snapped. Jaw unhinged like a snake. Rows of jagged teeth. Crack, a massive spiderweb fracture crawled across the pane. "Bulletproof," I whispered. "Nothing is proof against us, Evan." It echoed in my skull, vibrating through my teeth. 3 minutes until 3:20. Let's play a game. Fluorescent lights exploded. Glass rained down. The station plunged into pitch black. Only the faint, sickly glow of the street lamp outside. The cooler, I panicked. I bolted down aisle 2, candy and shattered light bulbs skidding beneath me. Back wall grasped the silver handle, locked from the inside. Safe room closed. I was exposed. Boom. The front doors groaned under impact. Glass shattered. Freezing night air rushed in. Cold, copper, ozone, old blood. Wet, heavy footsteps on linoleum. Squish, drag, squish, drag. Not walking, dragging. "Evan," the voice sang inside my head. Not a monster this time, my mother. "Evan, honey, it's so cold. Why did you lock me out? Come, give me a hug." Tears stung. Trick, she was 300 miles away. I squeezed my eyes shut, bit my lip. Blood in my mouth, silent. The heavy footsteps moved past the front door and into aisle 1. Crash. A whole rack of potato chips and canned soup tumbled to the floor. Cans rolled into the shadows. Not here, the voice hissed inside my head. Gone was the illusion of my mother. Squish, drag. It moved to aisle 2. Glass soda bottles shattered. Sticky liquid sprayed across the floor. I checked my watch. 3:18 a.m. 2 minutes left. It was coming to aisle 3, right in front of the counter. I could hear its breathing now. Wet, ragged, like a punctured lung. The footsteps stopped. Right behind the counter, only a thin piece of particle board separated us. I pressed my back against the metal shelf, tried to make myself as small as possible. Slowly, silently, a hand crested the top of the counter. Not human, pale grey, foot-long fingers, too many joints. Tap, tap, tap. It's your heart, Evan, the voice hissed in my skull. Like a little bird trapped in a cage. The fingers curled closer, nails brushing my jacket. The smell of rot filled my nose. I couldn't just sit here and die. My hand patted the floor blindly. Fingers brushed a plastic bottle. Zippo lighter fluid. I grabbed it, twisted the cap off. In my pocket, my cheap gas station lighter. 3 hours, 19 minutes, and 15 seconds, a.m. 45 seconds. The grey fingers extended. I couldn't wait. I squeezed the bottle. Fluid shot into the dark space above the counter. I sparked the lighter. Flames erupted. Orange fire licked the creature's elongated arm. It shrieked mechanical, horrifying, like a slaughterhouse nightmare. Its face loomed over the register. Grey skin stretched, jaw unhinged, eyes black voids. It thrashed backward, tearing cigarette racks and shelves in flaming panic. I scrambled out, diving toward the back office, sliding on spilled soda. I crawled behind the lottery machine, gasping. The fire dimmed. The creature wasn't flesh. It didn't burn easily raw. Footsteps, wet and heavy, sprinted toward me. 3 hours, 19 minutes, and 50 seconds, a.m. 10 seconds, I'm going to skin you alive. It screamed inside my skull. Squish, drag, squish, drag. It rounded the corner. A smoking grey hand reached for me. 3 hours, 19 minutes, and 57 seconds, 58, 59. 3 hours, 20 minutes, and 0 seconds, a.m. Ring, ring, ring. The vintage landline rang. In that exact instant, the pressure in my skull vanished. The grey hand dissolved into black ash. Emergency backup lights flickered on, dim, harsh white. The store intact. Front doors unbroken. Candy racks upright. Glass unshattered. The phone kept ringing. I picked up the receiver. Hello. Rule number 5, Evan. Mr. Abernathy's voice rasped through. Always answer by the 3rd ring. I gripped the receiver so hard, my knuckles turned white. Mr. Abernathy, what just happened? The glass, the fire, everything reset. Static hissed. You missed the cooler, didn't you, Evan? There was a bleeding man outside. I shouted, panic rising. It wasn't a man. A lure, Abernathy replied. The station protects itself at 3:20, but breaking rule for marks you. Marked, they know you're weak. The collector comes before sunrise. He doesn't want gas or snacks. He wants the toll. I'm quitting, leaving now, I said, reaching for my jacket. If you step off before 6 a.m., the things in the dark will tear you apart, he warned. Listen carefully, Abernathy continued, crackling through the line. When the collector arrives, do not look at his face. Take his payment. And remember Rule 3. Rule 3, how do I click? The line went dead. Dial tone hummed like mockery. I stared at the laminated sheet. Rule 3. If a customer pays with coins with no faces, bury them in the dirt before sunrise. Digital clock, 4 a.m., 2 hours left. I watched the outside world vanish. Thick, unnatural white fog rolled in. It swallowed pumps. The neon route 400 for sin. The highway, silence. No crickets, no wind. Then, heavy, rhythmic boots. Step, pause, step, pause. Someone walking straight for the window. I swallowed hard, remembering Abernathy's warning. Do not look at his face. A towering figure emerged. 7 feet tall, stooped to approach the window. Bright yellow fisherman's raincoat, dripping with dirty water. I kept my eyes glued to his chest. Breath slow, exhale like rusty bellows. Tap, tap. A massive hand, rubber glove, tapped the glass. I slid the drawer open. The figure reached into the deep pocket, dropped a folded, yellowed piece of paper. A map of the county. $4.50, I stammered. The other hand dropped a handful of coins. 5 heavy, silver faceless discs, cold enough to burn. Frost spread on the metal tray. I picked one up, smooth, blank. I looked up, void. The hood was empty. Swirling grey fog shaped like a head. It tilted, acknowledging my mistake. A low hum rattled my teeth. Without a word, the figure walked back into the fog. Gone. The coins still burned my hand. I grabbed a trowel, flashlight, back door, alley, woods. Fog wrapped around me like cobwebs. I knelt, dug frantically. Roots tore at the earth. The forest whispered. Hundreds of voices, hungry, unknown. I dropped the faceless coins. Take them, I whispered. The coins hit the bottom of the hole with a dull clink. The whispering stopped. The freezing vibration vanished. I frantically shoveled the wet dirt back into the hole, packing it down with my bare, muddy hands. Done. It's done, I gasped, wiping mud and sweat from my forehead. I stood, flashlight in hand, ready to sprint back inside. Then the beam caught her. The red coat, vibrant, immaculate, blocking the steel door, her head tilted downward, black hair hiding her face. But her mouth, that impossible, needle-toothed smile. The fog swirled around her. Silence pressed in. My heart hammered against my ribs. She lifted her head. Black, soulless eyes met mine. Her voice didn't come from her mouth, echoed in my skull. "Excuse me, young man," she hissed. "Could you tell me how to get to Oakville?" I froze. She was testing me again. Every instinct screamed to run, to scream, to fight. But Mr. Abernathy's laminated sheet flashed in my mind. Rule 2, point to the woods. Do not speak. I bit down on my tongue. Copper taste, trembling hands. Slowly, I pointed, straight past her, toward the dark tree line. She stared at my finger. Her smile twitched, dropped slightly. Hatred burned in her black eyes. Then, she stepped to the left, melting into the fog. A narrow gap opened. I didn't hesitate. Dropped the flashlight, sprinting, boots pounding wet concrete. A freezing claw of pain raked my jacket. Ice trying to pull me into the dark. I slammed into the steel door, tumbled inside. Jeans tore. I threw the deadbolt. Click, thud. Something huge slammed against the outside. Furious, I backed away, hyperventilating. Fluorescent lights flickered on, warm, safe. I had paid the toll. Wall clock, 5 a.m., 60 minutes until sunrise. I dragged myself to the front counter. Fog outside thick, dense, swallowing the gas pumps. laminated sheet in hand. Survived red coat, cooler mistake, faceless coins. Rule 6, relief. A boy named Mark will arrive at 6 a.m. sharp. If anyone arrives before sunrise, do not unlock. They are starving. The digital clock crawled. 5:30, 5:40. Exhaustion pressed down like lead. Then, at 5:45 a.m., yellow headlights cut through the fog. A rusty sedan. Engine off. A young guy, maybe 19. Route 404 jacket, backpack, coffee. He knocked twice. Hey, I'm Mark, here for the day shift. I froze, counter between us. Pitch black fog outside, do not unlock. He smiled, so human, pink cheeks, tired eyes. Come on dude, don't be a jerk, he pleaded. Abernathy's rules are a joke. Open up heaters on. I stepped forward, hand on keys. Something clicked in my brain. His voice, exactly like the bleeding man at 3:15 a.m. I stopped. No. You wait in your car, I said firmly. The smile vanished. His face went blank. Skin tore around his jaw. Eyes rolled back. Solid black voids. He slammed both pale grey hands against the glass. Let me in. Jaw unhinged. Chest deep. Voice shattered mugs behind me. Boom, boom, boom. Spiderweb cracks spread. I backed away, covering my ears. Digital clock, 5:59 a.m. Glass bowed inward. A clawed fist lifted for one final strike. 6 a.m. Golden sunlight sliced through the grey fog. The creature screamed, high-pitched, horrific. Skin smoked, sizzled, ash blowing into the wind. Fog vanished, highway clear. 5 minutes later, the real Mark arrived. Normal, coffee in hand. Morning, man. Rough first night. I looked at muddy hands, torn jacket, laminated sheet. You have no idea, I whispered. I survived the night shift, never coming back. The end.